for the conditions you are serving us under. And we will take it up in Parliament from next week. And it must be addressed fully. Because media is what makes Parliament what it is. Some of us who have been gagged before in the chamber, it is the media that helped us to talk to Kenyans. Having said that, we are here to inform you that the Speaker has made a ruling today on the issue that was the issue about the majority and the minority leadership in the House. And as you are aware, we had yesterday raised in the House the court ruling through Honorable Millie that the court had ruled that the Kenya Kwanza coalition is not the majority party in Parliament. And the court categorically said majority party in Parliament is decided through the sovereign will of the people. It is only in Kenya where majority party and minority party in Parliament is decided through defections. So when you defect from one party to another, you add numbers to the other one, and without consulting the people who elected you. Secondly, the contradictions in the Speaker's rulings, I want to point them out. Initially, in his first ruling that was quashed by the court, he ruled that the 14 members who are in UDM and those other parties, he gave them to Kenya Kwanza, as you remember. Today he has turned around again saying they are not in any party. They are in purgatory. They are held up somewhere. Nobody knows where they belong to. Purgatory, yes. So it just shows you how numbers are being crafted from one side to another, just to make sure that certain group are the majority party in Parliament. The other day he made a ruling that Jubilee Party is not part of Azimio. Today he has made a ruling that Azimio is Jubilee is part of Azimio. He has confirmed. And we have been telling him Jubilee has not left Azimio. Today he has confirmed again Jubilee is part of Azimio. Thirdly, this is another ruling that will be taken to court for quashing. Because it has all the contradictions of the Constitution. It is even worse than the one that was quashed. This one. Parliament is not court of appeal. Parliament is Parliament. We can only debate. You cannot do an appellate business in Parliament. It can only be done by a 5-bench consisting 5 judges, a bench of 5 judges in the Court of Appeal. Parliament has turned itself now into a Court of Appeal where they can overthrow judgments of judges from the High Court. That has never happened anywhere in the Republic. Parliament is not immune to interpretations in the Constitution. There are many bills, many acts of Parliament we have passed that have been quashed by constitutional courts in Kenya and nullified. The security laws, the Cybercrime Act, many acts. They are telling us here now that the Speaker's ruling is not subject to any court. Which Parliament is that? So, in a nutshell, we are saying we disagree completely with the ruling of the Speaker today. Azimio is the majority party. That was achieved through sovereign will of the people in the elections of 8th of August, 9th of August 2022. It shall remain so. We are still in 2022. We are not in 2025 as. We are stuck there where the numbers were. So I want to urge the Speaker, if he wants a smooth Parliament, a Parliament that respects the standing orders, a Parliament that will deliver for the Kenyan people, let him run Parliament through the Constitution and the standing orders. Yes. He can't be, one day he says this, the next day he's saying this. He told us in his previous ruling that those 14 members are in Kenya Kwanza. Today he's saying they are not in any party. Then they are saying the Deputy Speaker wrote a letter to the Registrar of Political Parties. As who? As who? Who has given us the mandate to write to the registrar to ask for? And these documents that they are saying the registrar has written to them, they should take them to court, not to Parliament. Go and tell the judges that there is new evidence we have found that the registrar is saying these people are not members of any party. You don't bring it to Parliament. Parliament is not a court. They're saying we are judicial, quasi-judicial sitting. Where? How? But let me tell you something. It is going to be messy. It is going to be noisy. And it's going to have casualties. I promise you. It is going to have casualties, I can promise you.
We know the first casualty.
Yeah, and we can see it is getting smelly already. From the way Parliament is being handled, it is getting smelly.
Yes.
Mwango can see it also.
Mwango.com.
We don't feel any broad-based arrangement in Parliament. There is nothing. Broad-based is in the executive only. Parliament has no broad-based mechanism. We are not there. So, my fellow, with the permission of my fellow colleagues, I have told you going forward is not going to be business as usual.
Correct.
And we have withdrawn our members from the House Business Committee.
Yes.
Yes. I am sure they have just said, as many of that opinion, we will de-whip them if they put them there. Yes. They will have their own House Business Committee, their own.
Yes. Which we will also challenge.
Which will also challenge in court, in public, in private, everywhere. So please, let us respect the law. Let us respect the Constitution. Let us respect the standing orders. Let us operate within the Constitution. Otherwise, we fear nobody, we owe nobody, and we stay at our homes. We don't stay in anybody's home, yes. And we don't live in anybody's house. That is my message for today. Correct.
Thank you.
Porridge, hot porridge. Hot porridge. Uji.
Good evening, members of the press. I just want to join my majority leader.
Yes.
In also really condemning the status that the media has been put in. You cannot have news happening afterwards, especially in a digitized era. What if anything happens in Parliament and you are not there? What is the source of information? Media must be inside Parliament. You have to know what goes on inside Parliament.
Yeah.
That is part of democracy.
Unless it is North Korea Parliament.
Yeah. That is part of democracy. And with an opening of space, democratic space, we cannot be going backwards as a country. So we will guard that very, very passionately about media freedom. And media freedom is not just about you sitting here in a corner. It's about you being able to access news where news is happening. So can you imagine if we come here and we start narrating to you that you know there was somebody dancing outside? Is that, what news is that? Or there was somebody spitting, is that news? You have to see it yourself, because otherwise people will mislead you. Or somebody was walking naked. You have to see it for yourself to give objective, fair and accurate information to the public. But having said that, I just in adherence to the concept of separation of powers, I want to disagree very strongly with the Speaker when he says that we cannot question the Parliament or the Speaker, and that what Parliament does cannot be questioned. That is not correct. Otherwise, we would as well bury the concept of separation of powers, which operates under a system of checks and balances.
It's a creation of the Constitution.
Yes, Parliament is a creation of the Constitution, and so we must follow the Constitution. If we go against the Constitution, the courts have to put us back in line, whether we agree with the court or not. As Azimio, we have disagreed with the court many times before, but we have respectfully agreed. Disobeyed.
Including the Supreme Court.
Exactly.
The presidential elections.
Including the ones who are calling us hot air and all those. But we respectfully disagreed with them, but we have not disrespected them. But having said that, I also just want to say that if there is one thing that the Speaker started at the onset, he said that he does not wish to stand on appeal of a High Court decision, and that he is not in any way doing that. But in effect, that's exactly what he did. Because what then has he done? If you have gone against a decision of the High Court, you have actually you have done an appeal against the High Court. Otherwise, what we should have told us is there is a stay order. Yeah. And for us, there is no stay order. If there was a stay order, you would have just seen us clapping for Kimani Ichung'wah as a majority leader and for Osoro as a majority whip. But for now, I can tell you what we are looking at here is the de jure majority leader and the de jure minority whip.
Majority.
The other majority whip. Other ones are fake, and the deputy majority leader and the deputy majority whip
and majority members.
Yes. And then reiterate that you can see this is just a game of musical chairs. It's all about following the rule of law. And as my majority leader has actually said, earlier on in his decision that the court has quashed, he said the 14 members, yeah, he declared the members of Kenya Kwanza. Now they are frozen in space. They don't belong anywhere. And why have they been frozen in space? To deny Azimio their rightful numbers.
Yes.
What they should do, whether we have actually said that there are circumstances that may have changed. That one I agree with him. It's very correct. Circumstances may have changed.
Both sides.
Both sides. Who doesn't know, for instance, de facto, that there are people who have gone off with Wamunyora. Yeah, Wamunyora has gone with his own MPs. That is a fact.
And he has formed Wamunyora Cathedral.
Yes. Oh, you know, it's also good to have a majority leader that makes you laugh like this. And what I can say, that if indeed those guys have gone, and we were to declare the way the speaker is declaring, and members of parliament were very whimsical, you decide today we are in this side, we are that side, we must be guided by the law and what the law says. So the 14 people, the 14 members that are frozen in space legally are Azimio numbers. And then I would want to say finally that, as indicated, the deputy speaker, by the deputy speaker writing to ask for the membership from the registrar is indicative of what we are worried about the position of the speaker.
No, he said she instructed the clerk to write.
As who? And that is what we are saying about the issue that the court has raised about biasness. Yes, biasness that the court spoke about. And I'm glad that the speaker actually noticed an anomaly. Other than notice one anomaly, that because of the hurried nature, that I send a letter written minority because the parliament has not given me correct ones, written majority. We don't print our own. If they had printed for me, majority would have done. But the other anomaly that the speaker has actually highlighted is that not only is it a problem for the speaker to be sitting substantively as a leader of a party, you can see the consequences. But now he has even added his deputy. He has also crucified the deputy, that she's also guilty of the same. And perhaps the courts need to get us needs to pronounce itself to that as well. And as Azimio, as we had indicated, this is not the end. We have withdrawn our members from the House Business Committee, and that's not the end.
And we are doing a lot.
Yes, and that's not the end. We are going to take further action.
Impeach the speaker. The speaker said that the members are there.
It was done before.
Delaying, it's merely delaying. We are going to remove
We
them.
withdrew members before he put the question.
Before he put the question.
What is he talking about?
But it doesn't matter. It's still as simple as the whipping.
We will whip them in the morning.
In the morning we'll have the whips.
Yeah.
We'll have the whips. It's wasting time.
They are our members. They are not Kenya Kwanza members.
Yeah.
Yeah. They are not his members. They are our members.
Yes.
Do you have anything to say?
Majority whip have said almost all that can be said, but I just want to add that you know, the media seem to have picked this thing before, because in a headline of a few days ago we saw the headline saying that the speaker is biased. Now today we've actually confirmed. Yesterday's deliberations, I noted that he was very particular in blocking some of us from speaking, and even when you are allowed to speak, he kept interjecting. And I want to tell the speaker, it's bad manners. It's important to allow members to speak, because the speaker doesn't cast a vote and is not supposed to have an opinion. The speaker is supposed to allow the house to run, and then the decision is made by the house. But yesterday we noticed that he kept interfering, he kept blocking members, he kept advising members, and that's really not his work. So I want to say that finally it's unfortunate that we are here because of the indiscipline people that are elected who keep jumping ship. And you saw yesterday when I made reference to our leader Raila Odinga, the Right Honorable, when he was dissatisfied with the party where he was at that time, he actually defected, he resigned, went back and sought a fresh mandate from the people. But this what is happening in Kenyan Parliament today under the leadership of the Speaker now is that he can entertain members to quickly say that they have just jumped ship to another side, which without even reference to the people that brought them to the house. So I want to say, let us have sanity in the house, let us respect the Constitution, and more importantly, let us respect court orders. Court orders are not supposed to be debated and a question put in the house on court orders. When the court, because of that issue that has been raised, the separation of powers, when the court issues an order, that order or a ruling, that ruling has to be respected.
They are mistreating us, maybe because we shall be taking instructions from Addis Ababa. Then number two, we want to promise Kenyans today that we will end the impunity in Parliament. Yes. It will come to an end. Yes. We promise you.
Niseme ya kwamba chama cha Jubilee kiko ndani ya Azimio na hiyo mambo tumesikia speaker akisema kwa ruling ati alipata communication kutoka kwa registrar imepitia kwa naibu wa speaker already kwa standing orders zetu imeprovide ya kwamba clerk ndio anafaa aandikie registrar. Hatuwezi tegemea naibu wa speaker ati yeye ndio ataambia speaker Jubilee ama wengine wako kwa coalition gani. Kwa hivyo namuunga majority leader wetu Junet kusema sisi ndio wengi na hiyo ruling itakuwa rahisi sana kuipinga kotini.
Mapambano imeanza.
Yes. Is leading a dead party. Thank you very much. We are very sorry for the conditions. We didn't know it is like this. We did not. We have not been visiting. We did not.
And we'll be back to the funeral.
We are going to raise it.
Yeah, we are going to raise it.
We are very sorry.